Welcome back to my How to Warframe. And I continue with where I ended it off last episode. So here I am. Um, when you progress through Venus, you probably get to Fossa. Like I said, it's an assassination, like you did with like you did on Earth, probably. The mission where you killed Vor. Yes, there. So you do this mission, the regular mission. You shouldn't have anything else. And always, oops, if you want to do a mission solo or anything else than public, you can press options and go to that globe symbol. You will be able to just go friends only, invite only, or solo. Solo, you can pause the mission like by pressing options and time will stop. So you can just go to the toilet without anything happen while you're gone. But I can recommend doing stuff on public because it makes it easier for you to do anything. Then you enter the mission. And like I said, this boss is very, very special because of the Warframe that he drops. As you probably know or not know, from every boss you get a specific Warframe. Like another character that you can then build and like that unlock for you to play. So you spawn into the mission, you have your waypoint of where to go.
In an attempt to exert power and authority, Corpus recently introduced their most lethal security proxy. Determine its location aboard this vessel and destroy it.
You don't have to kill everyone, but you probably will just to make your way through. You can also just ignore those enemies and roll your way through to the boss, like everyone else does. But you can't kill those enemies. Then you just make your way to the waypoint. Get out of here. You just roll your way through. I'm just gonna speed up a little. God damn it, 2-player door. Oh, Mastery 3.
Do not dismiss the Jackal as just another Corpus proxy. This will be unlike any enemy you have faced yet.
And your voice at the side will probably look a little bit different. That's, yeah, that's because plot, just ignore it for now. So you just shoot at him. And after shooting at him, he will go down. He had a very strong weapon.
They won't be bothering us anymore.
Oh,
let's get out of here.
Wow, Vectus Prime. Yeah, he has a very strong weapon. So, after you kill this dude, you just make your way out there. Because you're done. So, let's head out.
Doors are locked. Time to break in.
If you crouch beside an enemy and then X to do a bullet jump, it'll knock those enemies down and do a little bit of damage, which at the start is by far enough to kill an enemy in like 2 bullet jumps. So
Target down.
it does a little
Assassination
bit, but
contract
mostly
complete.
it's a
Great
knockdown.
work, Tenno.
And then you get your first Warframe part, Rhino Neuroptics. There are always 4 parts, but you can get 3 from the boss. So the Neuroptics, Systems and Chassis are from the boss, and the blueprint can be bought from the market. So you go to the market, here, you press the left joystick to search for the Warframe that you want to build. You got a Rhino part, so you search for Rhino. And you will be greeted with that. And one thing will say Rhino, just Rhino. Not skin, not anything, just Rhino. Then you see the thing that all reviewers see, and that is a price tag. So you think, oh no, it costs money in the end, he's lied to me. No, you press 1. Then you will be to the build section, where you can buy it for credits and then build the Rhino Neuroptics, Rhino Chassis and the systems, along with 1 gallium and a little bit of money. So you just purchase the blueprint. Are you... oh, come on. No. I don't want to start. I'm trying to explain stuff here. No. Yeah. Sometimes you just do stuff alone. So now that you bought the blueprint for Rhino, you go to here, to your foundry. Let me just claim that so it's out of the way. And then you go to Warframe. Or to all, but that's far too confusing. I think I can just narrow it down to that. You can always use your search function, left joystick. So you have your Rhino chassis blueprint, your Rhino Neuroptics blueprint, and your Rhino Systems blueprint. So you build those 3, which will take 12 hours. And after you build those, you build your first new Warframe. And it'll take you 3 days, which is kinda long, but yeah. You can skip this by using platinum, which is like the shiny coins up here. But you should save your platinum to buy Warframe slots. So you will always at that point have enough Warframe slots for your next new frame, which I can really recommend Rhino, because he's a new player's best friend. Your Excalibur, Volt or Mag that you probably chose is not bad, I'm not saying that, but Rhino is easier to play. I put mine with colors and stuff so it looks more fancy. You can always do that by pressing square. You can change your colors right here. And he is unique in a way. If you press R2 while hovering over him, you will get to see his abilities. And I know that's a lot of information and everything, and you'll be like, what is that? For one, he will be unleveled, so your stats will be different. And then you just look at his abilities. That's a basic explanation of what those abilities do, how much energy they cost right here, and their stats. Rhino Charge. Rhino charges towards enemies, clobbering any in its path and goring its victims. Basically what that does, it's like you go into full Rhino mode and just bull charge through enemies. You will have your different stats, which most do not matter like at all. Then you have the ability why I recommend Rhino, his Iron Skin. Rhino hardens his skin, insulating himself from all damage. What that does is, when you level him up to maximum rank, you will get 1675 ferrite armor. So, what is that? It's basically another layer of health. So, when you activate this ability, for one, you will have 3 seconds of invulnerability, so if you do it just before you die, you will have 3 seconds of, okay, so let's calm down and what is going on? Like, get an overview over the battlefield. And also, after that 3 seconds, you will have 1600 health that is separate from your own health. So if enemies shoot at you, it will first use up all your Iron Skin health. It'll last quite a while at the level you'll be going, and then it'll go to your health. This ability costs 50 energy, which shouldn't be a problem. And you can always have that on, just activate it as soon as you start into a mission, and just every mission will be more of a breeze. Then you have his next ability, which is good for starting. Roar. Grants all nearby Warframes increased damage for a short duration. The duration isn't really that short. It's 30 seconds and increases your damage by 50%. So all your weapons, which probably don't do that much damage, will do a little bit more damage, and you will be able to deal with enemies quicker. And then his last ability, Rhino Stomp. Rhino stomps with force sufficient to disrupt time, tumbling enemies around him in stasis. Kind of awesome, but is basically just you stomp, and every enemy in a radius of 25 meters will be stuck in the air for 8 seconds, which is basically a good mean to stop enemies in a 25-meter radius from attacking you. It's basically just a stop. I want to pause. So everything on his kit is like making enemies not hurt you anymore, giving you a break from the battle or from difficult situations. So he's a beginner's best friend. And modding him is also easy. I can just go here and go to his next config. You will probably see a lot of red stats, but that's normal. Now they're gone. So you have your Rhino. And my Rhino has capacity 60 out of 60. That is due to a item that I put onto him, which is called an Orokin Catalyst, or an Orokin Reactor. The community calls it potato because it looks like a potato. To put that on, you can press your right joystick and put the Orokin potato on Orokin reactor. What all the other things do, ignore that. Just ignore it for now. Then it'll be the same as for your other frame. Just put the mod that you have. You probably leveled it a little bit. Put that on. Sorry for the slideshow, I have way too many mods. So you probably have your vitality at a higher step, so you just put it on. And that grants you more health. And then you probably also leveled your steel fiber a little bit. Not that much, but let's just put it on. And you probably also leveled your redirection a little bit. Just a little bit. And then you already have more armor, more health, and more shields. And I can very much recommend you to put on armor. Like, the better it is, the better it gets. Because it synergizes very well with his iron skin. So if you only have armor on, your iron skin will already get stronger because of your armor. It works like that. So the more armor you have, the better your iron skin and the better your survivability is. Armor, health and shields and all that, I will probably get to that later in like when I go about damage and specific damage. So just get ready for that. So then you have your basic Rhino. And you probably even have Intensify at that time. So let me just search for it. Intensify. Probably not a full level, but it's something. Intensify or ability strength will even increase your iron skin more. So armor increases the iron skin, strength increases the iron skin. You're set. You can just stand in the middle of the crowd and not take any damage. Well, that's about right. You can stay in there for quite a long time without really dying. So, yeah, that's good. Okay, that slot is an aura slot. That slot is called an Excellus slot. This one is very important. You can just press R1 and you will see all your aura slots, which will be probably not that many. So a mod that you probably have, I don't know. You don't really get that much aura mods from random missions. So you just leave this slot empty if you don't have any auras. It's okay just without it. It only serves to give you more capacity. So if you have an aura that fits the polarity, like the symbol up there, you get more capacity. I went from 60 to 74. But like I say, you don't really need it. And then you're set with your new Warframe, and you think, but my starter weapon, which is probably the Breton or the Paris, depending on what you choose, you will want to look out for a new, stronger weapon. And there's one weapon that I can recommend. The Heck. A heck of a gun. A weapon that requires mastery rank 4, which you probably already have at that point. If not, just do more junctions and try to get other weapons. The thing about the Heck is this little fella. 340 puncture damage. 105 slash damage and 78 impact damage, which combines to a really big damage number. A really big damage number. which for a mastery rank 4 weapon is like a artillery strike as a handheld weapon compared to your other weapons. So I am currently building that weapon, but I have a different variant which has completely the same stats. So if I switch over to here, you will also have like the 341 and 105 and 78 damage. It's basically the same weapon, just has a bigger magazine, that's all. And when you have that weapon, you already have a really strong weapon that can kill heavy units up to level 30 in a few shots. Like 2 shots, 3 shots, something like that. And if you activate your roar, even faster. And then you have your secondary, which will probably like a Furious, because you got that from the Junction, which is like the Dex Furious. It looks almost the same, it's just a special variant that I had. Just ignore it. And the Skana, because you probably got that from the start, I just don't have it anymore. I have a different weapon that's about as good. And you probably build yourself a Sentinel, which I do not have Taxon anymore. I don't know why I got rid of him. Probably stupid. But hey, I have Carrier, which is a good Sentinel. And Carrier comes with a standard shotgun. But you probably have Taxon with his Freeze Ray, which is a really good weapon. Just saying that again, really good weapon, because you can slow down all enemies. If it's a boss, if it's just a unit trying to punch you in the face, it'll slow him quite a lot. And then you probably think, well, my Sentinel cannot do anything. He's just like pretty weak, he constantly dies. That's why you also mod your Sentinel with metal fiber for armor and with vacuum if you have that mod. Like almost any Sentinel has that mod. And the basic mod for Carrier, which is his attack mod, which will just make him attack stuff in his range. Then you also have stuff like enhanced vitality, which gives him more health. So you put that on. You have calculated redirection, which is for shields. So that will probably be your basic, like striker and vacuum, because that's, I guess those are basic things, and also ammo case, because if you build Carrier, that he also has ammo case, which is if you pick up any ammo, it converts them to your ammo that you need, so you don't have ammo problems anymore. So your build will probably look something like that. Probably not the same, because like I say, you will run out of capacity pretty soon, so you need to level up your Sentinel. And he also has a weapon, which you can also mod. You can modify just about anything. Like literally anything. So you can put some range on him. You probably got that mod from like the Jackal, because I guess he can drop it. That will just drop from about any enemy. And speed trigger is just a fire rate mod that I have on him. And what else do you need? You just progress through the star chart and just do quests. There are, let me just say, a lot of quests. Like if I scroll through my quest log, you have a lot of starter quests which are really good, and also some quests later on, some quests that you can unlock later, and stuff that you can do. So there's like always something that you can do, and yeah, just have fun. That's the basic thing about this game. Just have fun. Just if you're in a mission, just ask people, send people a friend request if they seem nice, if they're helpful, or just if you need some friends. Because this game is always better if you're together. So that about sums up my basic tutorial on how to do stuff. The next thing that I'm probably gonna do is like um, which or what sales effects do, or general elements. But general rule of thumb for progressing in this game is just build all of the weapons that you want. If a weapon seems nice, like like it's a weapon that shoots arrows really fast, or it's a shotgun that's full auto, or if you have a weapon that looks completely weird, that's a weapon from a clan. So if you don't have it, that's normal. But there are also weapons that you can get from bosses. Like this one is from the boss on Mars? Mm, I guess. Not too sure. It comes from War. So if you fight War, he will drop the blueprint, the mitre barrel, blade, and chassis, and handle. Handle being the rarest one. So then you can build this weapon. It's a very interesting weapon, and just like I say, try out stuff, mess around with stuff. Just you can do so much here, and just fool around, try stuff out that you can normally not do in other games, because you don't have the freedom of just saying, oh, I want that damage on my weapon, so I just put that damage on. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you watch the damage tutorial that I'm gonna do next. So see you guys then.